started that in 2008, went bankrupt in 2011, lost everything. Then I started spending money on coaches. I've spent 1.3 million on my personal education. We went from 89 year 4 to 233 million year 5.
If you could go do your deal over, would you have got more? Chris, what was that company?
So what was the name of the company?
You exited. You got a big chunk.
Solgen Power was the name of the company. It was a solar business. Yeah.
And how old were you when you cashed out?
I was 38.
So not that long ago.
Yeah, 3 years.
I remember. This is the second visit. You guys go look up the old episode.
Yes, sir.
Chris Lee, L-E-E. I'm L-E-A, but we're both Lee.
Yes. Yours actually was L-E-E until, your family wanted to disown old General Lee.
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
You know what? That means we could be related.
Good chance.
Because I was an L-E-E at one point.
Yes, sir.
But now I'm Lee, and people say, is that Leah? And I always say, I don't know. Do you drink Tia? Like, why do you pronounce it Leah? They're like, well, that's how it's spelled. No, it's spelled Lee, just like T, just like C, just like P. You read a book, don't you?
You do.
But anywho, it gets old. Just like my wife, she gets mad because when the waitress at a restaurant says, do you have any questions about the menu? I always say, where were they printed? And they go, huh? Where are these printed?
And your wife hates that joke.
She doesn't. Joke. Or when they come up afterwards and they say, would you like a box for that? And I say, dude, I don't want a box for it. You don't want a box for that? See, now everybody's going to be eating. You guys are going to hear, do you want a box for that? And you're going to think of this.
Just dad jokes.
And all you say is, no, dude, you can have it if you want it that bad. It ain't worth fighting over. Appreciate you, though. Anywho, you got to check. Hey, but so guys, if you don't know, now you're about to know Chris Lee. You can find him on Instagram at Chris Lee QB. And why the QB thing? Weren't you a quarterback or something?
So I was a quarterback, growing up, and I coached high school quarterbacks for 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's kind of the background there. And, a lot of times as a Lee, they think you're Asian. There's no Asian quarterbacks.
They don't exist?
No.
Isn't that racist?
One. Yeah. Well,
are you being racist?
No, I am being culturist.
Or a realist.
A realist.
Yeah, because that's just the truth. Isn't there?
Show me one. Yeah, I don't know of one, so.
I can't think of one.
Yeah, it's just a joke that I use on the stage.
And you've been speaking on stages left and right, yeah?
Yeah, I've been speaking on quite a few stages. Yeah.
And you're speaking on scaling and growing businesses.
Yeah. So that's the main focus the last 2 years. We've been building out our community, Next Level Pros. And so we have 8 pillars for growth, and that's the main focus. And we take and insert those into companies and help them scale.
You check equity for that?
We don't. So essentially, we have different levels in our community. The top end of our community, we take opportunities to invest in these companies. But outside of that, we run a training and coaching program where guys come in, they attend workshops, they're a part of calls, they get open resources. The whole thing's built on a course. They have a coach.
Why wouldn't you want some equity?
For eventually, so I've done the consulting for equity thing. Frankly, it's not a great move. And what we found is consulting for equity, there's a lot of heavy lifting up front. You reorganize their business, completely change over their foundation, and then they become bitter, right? Because you do all the work up front, and then they resent you 2 years after the fact of man, I'm cutting this guy distribution checks. He's not even involved.
Yeah, well, that's when I'd say, well, we've got a process for that.
Right.
You know what happens when that happens? We get together and we sit down and we see what's the problem.
No,
and then
for
we
sure.
find resolution together because we're partners.
I'm with you on that.
I'm listening. What's your problem?
I mean,
that's what I'd say.
I agree. I agree with you on that.
I don't know if I'd do it for no equity though, because if I knew for sure I could do it, well, I'd want a piece of that.
Well, the beauty of the opportunity is at that top level, guys will sell part of their business at an undervaluation because they know the value that you can bring. But whenever you bring dollars to the table, all of a sudden there's no more it's impossible for them to resent you. And so if I can go and pick up a company that's worth 6 to 8 multiples, but value them at 1 to 2, it's a better process and less resentment.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to get into the M&A world a little bit.
Okay.
It's a smart world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy how it works.
Right.
You're familiar with how it works.
Oh yeah, very familiar.
Yeah. So did you get familiar because you had a bunch of liquidity? And what was your liquidity?
How much was the amount of cash that was distributed?
The lump sum is
35 mil.
So one day you called and it said, you have 35 million.
There you
700. You ever do that?
Never got the call, but looked on the the JP Morgan app.
No, they don't call you.
I'm saying I didn't call up and ask for the balance. I just take a look at the app.
Well, you know the automated.
Yeah, I know what you're.
Well, that's what I do. And when I
I
first hit a mill, I freaking called all my friends and let them hear me. Let them hear that.
Hey, you hear this? You hear this? That's funny.
And sometimes I'd act like, I was just checking my balance to see, and I knew they'd listen. I'm just sitting there and it's like, your balance is 1,600,000. And they're like, you got $1 million, bro? I'm like, yeah. But it was only $1 million. What'd 35 feel like?
Feels good, but the
well,
reality
it felt good.
is,
It ain't still there, is it?
No. Like, I mean, dude, nobody sits on that amount of cash. Everything goes.
Fools do.
Yeah, fools do. I mean, everything goes in the market, real estate, right? You're distributing it around the.
Were you savvy, or did you reach out to find some expertise?
I would say I'm probably more savvy than most business owners.
When you got it, you were?
Yeah,
already?
because from a very early age, I've been infatuated with numbers and investing. My dad was a very disciplined investor, even as a school teacher. And so it's something I fell in love with at the age of 20. So I was in the market early on, real estate, everything like that. I always said I do business so I can invest. And so, like I said, I'm a little bit of a unicorn that way.
Do you know the roll-up game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very familiar.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that going, holy mackerel, dude. This is a racket almost.
Yeah. We're doing a roll-up strategy right now in the flooring industry. So, yeah.
Is it ripe?
Pretty ripe. Yeah, I'd say it's good. Most of these guys, you can come in if you have no previous experience or relationship with them, 3 to 4x, and a lot of times it's going to be owner financed. And then you bundle them together, increase efficiencies and profitability and whatnot, and you exit them at 8 to 10. So, obviously, into something, maybe a total of 4 or 5 million, sell it for 30 in a 2-year time frame. There's lots of opportunity.
Are you currently doing those?
Yeah, we're doing that in the flooring space.
Yeah.
And so I bring in operators where I have a president in place, and then my business, Next Level Holdings, has we function as the CEO and the board of these different businesses, and so we really help. But the thing that we do is just plug them into our community, train them up, hold them accountable, do all the same 8 pillars that we're doing, that we're just selling to normal people. And so really my whole strategy is, I don't want to invest in everyone, but I do want to change the world through entrepreneurs, and those that come in and apply our strategy and it's a good fit, then we go and invest in.
So that's a nice way of saying, even though there's nothing mean about it, cherry pick. You're cherry picking. In other words, you might get involved. You got to see what's going on first.
Yeah. And either way, some people, they apply it, but it's just not a good culture fit. It's someone that I just don't get a lot of energy from working with.
Or bad energy.
Yeah.
See, people don't understand about energy.
Yeah.
You get energy?
Oh, man.
Tell them about energy.
Energy, you can't create or destroy, but yeah, you have good energy and bad energy. Those people that you immediately vibe with, right? Sitting down, you immediately have that good gut feel. I mean, it's the way that I've always recruited, the way I like to do business. You can tell a lot from that initial energy.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand the
vibrations.
Yeah. And the frequency.
Yeah. So
to me, I always ask people if they get it, because if they don't get it, they need to. Everybody needs to.
It's amazing because certain relationships don't make sense on paper. You're complete opposites or whatnot, but for whatever reason, your frequencies come together and it creates...
you vibe.
Right.
Which that's short for vibration.
Right.
Yeah, that means, again, folks, people listening, I always use an analogy so people understand. So like if I busted into a room and made you pissed, you got pissed. And everyone that was there would have agreed that, dude, that was rude what he did. You know, who got you pissed, me or you?
Myself.
Bottom line. So you decided, didn't you?
Yeah.
You chose pissed. Is pissed negative or positive? Is pissed earthly or heavenly?
Definitely a negative.
Yeah, so it's like an earthly energy instead of a heavenly energy.
For sure.
So if we have the choice, which is, I think, called free will, correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
And by the way, isn't that the gift?
That is.
That's the gift.
Right.
And that's coincidentally the power as well. Mm-hmm. The power that they keep talking about that make it seem magical, like if you could only tap into your power. Well, you don't need to tap into it, fool. You need to realize that you have it and what it is. And what it is the ability to choose.
Right.
So you can choose.
Yeah.
What energy?
Choice is the ultimate like blessing, right? Like when we have choice, that's the definition of freedom.
See?
Yeah.
She don't even understand.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
the whole point.
Yeah.
Nobody understands how simple it is. Because at the end of the day, dude, if people understood that, their whole life, it gets better immediately. And it really doesn't, but it really does. So it's like people can't seem to understand the simplicity of it. Right. It's almost like, is it too simple?
Yeah, I think simplicity is what actually hits home for people usually, and so it is important for people to understand this simple aspect. Like I've always defined retirement as the ability to choose what I do every single day, and by that definition, I've been retired since I've been in my 20s. Right, like I've consciously made choices. It's not because I'm being forced, not because I have to pay the bills.
Not because you got 35 mil.
Yeah, like I mean,
see, people say I'm where I am because I'm rich and good looking. And I say, I haven't always been rich.
Right. No, I've definitely not always been rich. I've been very, very broke, 2011. So what, 14 years ago, this last month, filing bankruptcy, 2.2 million, less than $1,000 in my bank account. Right. Like, but even then I was still choosing every single day and consciously making a choice and not doing things because I was forced to.
Well, and that's also why you were in that situation.
Right.
Because you were choosing.
Right.
And whatever the choices you were making got you right there.
Oh, they were poor, man. I had bad partnerships, doing things for ego, a lot of different things.
And people don't realize, like, it is really a choice. So if you're going to choose heavenly energy or negative energy, right? That's the choice. Well, because you're vibrating, you can't stop that. And you don't want to really. But at the end of the day, you got this vibration, this frequency. Now, I can operate up here with the heavenly energy, or I can operate down here in the earthly energy. Now, I have to be in the earthly energy because I'm on Earth still. But do I have to operate here?
No.
No, I can choose because the Creator, you know his name?
Yahshua.
No, that's his son. But the Creator gave us the gift of free will, which it is a gift. And more people need to understand how valuable of a gift that is. That's the power everyone keeps talking about. So all you have to do is just choose heavenly energy. It's easy.
Right.
You choose. How do you do it? You choose. Yeah, but it's tough. I didn't say it wasn't tough. Yeah, but I got all this negative energy. We live in negative energy, folks. We were surrounded by negative energy. The question is do you realize you have a choice to choose heavenly or negative? And then people start to realize, how do I do it? Well, you wake up in the morning, right? You go grab your phone. You flip it open. Oh, you just got fired. You didn't realize it. There's a 7-day notice from you're getting laid off. So again,
got a choice.
Do you look at that negatively? Do you start to get negative, or do you do you stay positive? It's a choice. Well, I started to get a little negative. I mean, wouldn't you? Hey, now you're going too far. Wouldn't I? No, I wouldn't. Why? Because I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to choose to be negative. Why? Because from what I hear, and this is just a rumor, whatever your vibration and your frequency is, it'll attract more of the like vibration of frequency. So if I choose negative, the world conspires to get me more things that are negative.
Yep.
But if I choose positive or heavenly, well, then it's going to conspire to give me more of what you choose. So, hey, whatever you choose, be careful because you're going to get more of it So if I choose negative, I'm going to get more negative. Yeah. And if I choose positive, I'm going to get more positive. Yeah. And then your choice is negative. Like, what are you, an idiot? I'm not choosing that. No way.
One of my favorite frameworks comes from Urban Meyer. Have you read his book Above the Line? It's fantastic. So the framework is E plus R equals O. It's
yeah. No. Yeah, you know who teaches that?
Who's that?
Someone on Lightspeed.
Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you what that means. Energy plus organization equals results, or no?
No, it's event plus response
equals
outcome.
And
essentially what it means is like any event can happen, right? You get fired, whatever it is, you have a choice. In order to influence the outcome, it's always based on the response. And the way that you respond is whenever an event takes place, you press pause, you think through, and you think through,
weigh everything out.
What is the outcome that I want? Right? Like, I got fired. The outcome is I want to be able to provide for my family, or I want to accomplish my dreams, or whatever it is. All right. How would I respond to this event if that is still the outcome that I desire? And if you weigh everything in that direction, you're always going to choose this heavenly energy.
That's right.
And so regardless of the event, because events are uncontrollable. Let's go. And you know, here's another interesting thing. Just bring in God, or I call Jesus, you call Yahshua, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, names don't matter.
Names don't matter in this particular situation.
Forget the scripture where it says it does.
Hey.
Just don't worry about those. His name don't matter. I'm with you. Keep going.
Well, there's different languages, so we understand names.
Well, again, that has a whole nother conversation.
Whole other conversation.
Chris, I'm going to get you convinced one of these days to just seek the truth, because the truth is in the light.
Hey, that's great. So look, we love the same person, but a lot of people, they blame God for poor events in their lives. Why did grandma die? Why did so and so get cancer or whatnot? And I actually had an employee that came to me, and this came to me in the moment they were talking about all these bad things that were happening in their life. They're like, how can God allow this to happen? I said, dude, God, and I went back to the E plus R equals O. God is not found in the event. God is always found in the response, right? Like
that's a good.
The way that you respond, like that's how life works, and why there can be evil and darkness and sickness and everything else, because these are all just events, right? Like God gives us power to respond and still control the outcome.
Or another way to put it,
Yahshua. Choose. That's right.
That's a choice.
It all comes down to choice, right? Like the way that I respond or choose.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why don't more people choose better?
Because most people are victims, right? Most people think that they don't have any control. Victim mentality. They don't think they have any control over the outcome. They think that
they're ignoring the gift.
Right.
They don't even realize they have the gift, apparently.
Right. Yeah. Most people, it's E equals O. Right. Like whatever event happens, that's the outcome. Like I am beholden to being fired. I'm beholden to my wife telling me she doesn't love me anymore. I'm beholden to like all these different things instead of like, hey, my wife says she doesn't love me anymore. The outcome I want is a great relationship with her. How am I going to respond to this situation? And how's God going to help strengthen me in that situation?
Well, maybe he is strengthening you by the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Allowing me to go through it to become better.
Hey, you pray for strength and then you curse the freaking the stuff that strengthens you. How's that make any sense? Hold on, wait a minute. You want me to get you strong, and then I give you a little difficulty to deal with to get you strong, and now you're mad that I gave you a little difficulty? Pick, choose. Yeah, no, I'm not mad. Or you could look at it that way, and that's the whole thing. It's just a perspective shift, really.
Right.
You got to realize it. So, dude, you discovered this obviously early. And, dude, I struggle with it still every day. I mean, everybody always says when they hear me, like I'm acting like I'm just the best chooser in the world. Well, what about emotions, Brad? What would you say about emotions, Chris?
So, first of all, no one's going to be perfect in it, right? Like there's only been one perfect human on this earth. And so, like, the goal is to win more than you lose. Right. As long as I'm trending, like one of the reasons why
I got a new show coming out called Trending.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. One of the reasons we call our business Next Level Pros is because happiness, joy, success is all in trends, right? Like you can have $1 billion in your bank account and trending negatively, and you are going to be depressed. You are going to be falling, like hating your life. You can
Not me. But most people.
but I'm telling you, it's a trend, dude.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, like when trends are negative, you're going to feel bad. If you have a perfect relationship with your wife.
Negative according to whom, though?
What's that? I'm saying trends.
I know,
like
but according to whom?
Going down.
Going down could be a good thing.
Sure. All right.
Couldn't it?
I know you're trying to
Couldn't it?
Split hairs. Sure.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is you have a great relationship with your wife and it's trending negatively, you're going to be miserable, right? Like even though the trend of where you're at could be still very accomplished for most people. Yeah. And so like for me, like as long as I'm trending up and a trend is based on winning more than losing, right? And making progress, taking it to the next level. Like that's literally the whole reason is like, no matter where you're at, there is always another level. There's always another place you can get to as long as you continue to trend.
And that's probably why you're successful. Cause you said you like numbers and that's just watching the trends. It's all ones and zeros at the end of the day.
All ones and zeros.
Isn't that crazy? So these businesses, they come to you guys and they say, hey, I'd like to grow and scale.
Yep.
And then you just start showing them how to do it?
So it's not just that easy. So we have 4 different levels in our, so NEXT, next, stands for 4 different levels, or it's our 4 different core values. We have network, excellence, experience, and trust. And basically at like the network level, that's like startup businesses that are just like trying to get off the ground. So they get access to our course and some weekly calls. Most of our guys come in at what we call that excellence level, where they have a coach assigned to them that's going to hold them accountable to actually applying these 8 pillars for growth. And
that are proven
that across industries, right? And we've seen
these aren't made with Chat GPT.
No,
these given a fancy title.
These come from Chris GBT over the last like 15 years. Literally in my iPhone, I've had an iPhone since 2007. I've been keeping notes that have I've built upon and taken from all my experience. And so I've developed 39 strategies, and in those 39 strategies, those all fit into my 8 different pillars for growth, and they apply to any industry. And so
let's walk through one.
Yeah.
Or 2.
Yeah, for sure.
What's 1?
So 1 is culture, right? Like the way that you go and you build culture on purpose, the way that you recognize people, the way that you attract people with your vision and your direction, the way that you create your core values and your mission statement, and like putting that all together and creating what we call a next level plan, which is a 5-year roadmap to be able to grow and scale and building it backwards from 5 years out.
Build that culture.
Yeah.
So you help me design it and then build it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said over 5 years. So, you know, this ain't a short-term thing.
No, I mean, I say
I want it tomorrow, Chris.
Every business should always have a 5-year growth plan, wherever they're at. Whether they're starting up, they've been around for 20 years, they should have what their next 5 years looks like.
Only if they want to be successful.
Only if they want to grow.
Okay.
And if you're not growing, you're failing. And again, it's trends. For me, if I'm not trending up, if I'm maintaining or declining as a business, that's the most miserable time ever as a business owner, just fighting for your life.
Especially for you, I bet.
Yes.
And no pun intended. And I'm not joking. Like, dude, you're like competitive, aren't you?
Oh, dude.
If you start trending downward, you freak out.
Oh,
dude, you would not want to be a partner here.
No.
Revenue goes up, revenue goes down, revenue goes up, revenue goes down. Now that's a trend.
But as long as it's trending up, right? Like you can go up and down.
No, it goes up and down. I'm cool.
You like the up and down,
dude.
You don't like growth.
Listen, the downs I'm growing.
Yeah.
And the ups I'm growing.
All right.
I'm growing either way.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
I try to pick that heavenly energy about everything.
We can agree to disagree, but most investors don't want to buy into a business that just kind of maintains. They want to see some blue sky.
They want to see. I call it hockey stick growth.
Yep.
Well, dude, what I'm doing right now, coincidentally, because I've brightened up since the last time you've been here a little bit.
Let's go.
And I'm putting I call it an exitable base. So I have a bunch of companies now, and they're all good, and they all are profitable. They all are trending upwards.
Good.
I think that's in spite of me.
You have good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not as many as I need.
Right.
So I'm building a team. I never understood the value of a team either.
Right.
Like, dude, it was like, teams, folks, you better pay attention.
Yeah.
I probably blew out a bunch of people that would have been awesome had I understood then what I understand now. But who cares? They're pricks. They left. We just got suppressed because I said the P word. Zuck don't like it. So one day, dude, I'm sitting there doing Chat GPT.
Yep.
You do AI a lot?
Of course. Yeah, we're actually teaching a workshop on it next month.
Well, I was playing with it, and I realized that the important thing is the prompt.
Right.
So the better you are at telling it what you want, is the better it'll do
300 to
it.
400 words is a good prompt.
Yeah. So I just threw in a real quick question. Hey, if you were the devil, how would you stop me from being successful? And it popped out 10 things. If I told you the 10 things, you'd agree with them all. We're in agreement. Doubt and fear.
Right.
Instant gratification. Negative influence. I'd give you a victim mentality. I'd make sure you didn't ever, I'd keep you comfortable, basically. I'd make you plan forever, make you think endless planning, no action. I'd erode your confidence. I'd freaking make you focus on external rewards instead of internal. I'd give you poor habits, especially health, and I'd remove your sense of urgency. And then he said, and then I wouldn't have to touch you because I can't if you're one of his.
Right.
I can't touch you, but I can get you to touch yourself, no pun intended. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, dude, I've heard those voices. I've felt all of those.
Right.
And so if it kind of gives you chills because you think, man, did the devil have a hand in that? Well, that's where I started realizing, dude, if that's the failure path, that's what he would do to cause me to stop myself. Well, then if I just reverse those, wouldn't that be the map out?
For sure.
And then you go down that list, you get a sense of urgency. You freaking implement great habits and get rid of your bad ones. You focus internally, you do the inner work, and you figure out this, which is what matters. You build your confidence. You take some action, quit planning everything, and start doing some shit. Get uncomfortable. Get rid of your victim mentality. Take responsibility.
Take care of your body.
Get rid of all the negative elements and influences. Get rid of instant gratification. Right. And remove the doubt and fear. Replace it with confidence and courage. To me, all those are heavenly energy, brother. Absolutely. That's why I say, Luke, do I got a choice in this matter? Then you realize, well, yeah, you got a choice. You got the power. It was a gift. Well, how do I use it? You just choose. So that's why when you say, and I am splitting hairs, but I'm making a point too, because most people, me included, make the same mistake over and over and over. And we're choosing to respond and act to it negatively. So ERO works because of that. And I forget the name, the dad who works with Urban Meyer. He teaches it. It's called ERO or EOR or something like that. And he has a son. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about, but that makes sense. I'm sure he learned it from somebody.
He's got ERO, I think, on his bicep.
Right.
Event, result, and outcome. Or no, response.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes so much sense now.
Right. And there's several different people that in the education space that have taken a similar framework, but it all really comes down to choice, right? Just going back to what we're talking about, whether what's E plus R equals O, doesn't matter. Just how do you control that response?
Have you always been faith-based?
I would say yes. Yeah. My parents raised me very, very religious, and like me, I understand the level of addiction I have to things, right? I get addicted and obsessed. And so I've had to have very strict lines in my life of I do not cross this path or cross this line, because I know if I do, dude, in another life, if I lived just a little bit different, man, I would be homeless and drug ridden. I'm just too crazy about one thing. And so because of that, like I've had to have very strict lines with God, with the way I live my life and whatnot. Not perfect by any means, but yeah, it
seems to be working.
It's working out well. So,
dude, this trip in Hawaii, nobody can go to.
That's right.
Unless they're personally invited.
That's right.
How long do those last?
So we do these like unique retreats twice a year, and we do it for 3 days at my Hawaii house. And yeah, so
everybody sleeps there, or just
so we rent two places. So we have my house, and then we rent another beachfront house, and everybody sleeps in those two places. And so we're spending all day together for 3 days, and just
even if you don't want to.
I mean, even if you don't want to, I mean, you could get a local hotel, but I mean, there's a lot of power in like hanging out, sharing all the meals together. We have a private chef in there taking care of us. And, you know, we're doing all kinds of stuff, breath work, hanging out, doing some fun activities, talking business. It's a good time.
The breath work that you've done, do you ever get like hallucinations? Or I've heard some crazy stuff about
do you do breath work?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to do breath work.
I keep hearing that.
I think it's the easiest way to access God.
How so?
Like, I'm a believer,
which is crazy, by the way. If I don't interrupt, I'll forget. But because he started everything with the breath,
right?
And then breath work is somehow tapping into him. It's almost like by design.
So I'm a believer that God, we existed before this earth. We were given a physical body. And the physical body is the experience that we're meant to have on this earth. And that there is power that we can access physically, that God is waiting for us to be able to access him.
And it's breath work?
And I think breath work is one of the best ways. It's not all, right? Like there's meditation.
What about a book? Is there a book to learn this stuff?
There's a lot of different things. So we do, like when we go and do these events, we always start every day with breath work because it's like, it's so transformative, right? I have an app that I love. It's called Othership. It's a little weird sounding, but it walks you through breath work. But like what you do, like when you do these exercises, it literally like puts you like in the Zen moment, or like what I would say like a revelatory type experience where I am more in tune to my spirit and what God wants to talk to me about. And so I try to do it as often as possible, and you can change your energy. That's the crazy thing about it, right? Like we talk about energy, like there's breath work to increase your energy. There's breath work to slow down your energy, like to get on different wavelengths. So like last night I fell asleep. Almost every night I fall asleep with breath work because there's one that like decreases the amount of energy. And then there's like when I'm feeling it and I don't have immediate access to like a quick fix like caffeine, I can do breath work that puts me in a very...
How long does it take?
Depends. I would say anywhere from 60 seconds to 10 minutes, depending on what level of breath work you want to do.
Do you look foolish?
Probably.
So would I be walking in an airport and walk by you and see you over in the corner going,
So here's the thing. Like I usually don't do a whole lot in public, but I've also gotten to the point where like, I don't freaking give a rip. Like,
well, what's one like method? Because there's all kinds of them. Like Gary Brecka, you know Brecka.
Yeah. So
like
I'll teach you
he's on his social media going.
Yeah. So I'm going to teach you my favorite one right now. Okay. So you start with what's called box breathing. Box breathing. So there's 4 different ways you breathe. Or you can breathe in and out through your nose or mouth, right? So that's an option. But you breathe in, hold at the top, breathe out, hold at the bottom. Those are the 4 different things that you do in breath work.
How long for?
So, and that's the variation is what changes the way that you get energy, or you either take it or get more. And so my favorite one is box. I start with box and I go 7 to 8 seconds around. So 7 to 8 seconds in, hold for 7 to 8 seconds, out for 7 to 8 seconds, hold for 7 to 8 seconds, and do that for about 10 rounds.
That'd be a big box, no?
What do you mean?
In other words, that's a box. 7, 7, 7, 7.
Yeah. So basically it's 28 seconds per breath. And I'm going to do that for like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to go like 8 to 10 of those. Okay. So that gets me in a pretty good zen. And then I do what you were just demonstrating, which is like a 1 second in, 1 second out.
How long do you do that for?
It's a really rapid, and I do 30 in and outs. So it's 60. So for 30. And then at the very top, I do as deep of a breath in, and I hold it for as long as I possibly can.
And then what?
And I can usually hold it for about 3 minutes at that point.
You can hold your breath for 3 minutes?
For 3 minutes.
Shut up. That's
Because
crazy. That's like me running a 4.40.
Dude, I know. It's unbelievable. But here's the crazy thing is like you train, like when you do that, you oxygenate your body tremendously. And so when you're able to hold for 3 minutes, and then when you let that out and take the next breath in, like, dude, transformation. Like I'm telling you, I'm
trying that tonight.
Out of body
I'm
experience.
just gonna break down and do it.
And do it privately. Like if you don't want to, like, look, you don't need to be doing this in the airport. But like once you find the power in it, you're like, dude, I don't care what the freak anyone thinks.
What if you have a plugged up nose?
Then you got a physical limitation. So
what about all the people with deviated septums?
It sucks to be them.
They're just SOL.
Go and get surgery. I don't know. I don't have either one of them. I only know my personal experience of this.
And when you breathe out, then what? Like, is it all of a sudden you're all euphoric and ready to go?
Euphoric. So
what about hyperventilating?
So typically what we'll do is we'll do a breath work like that at the beginning of like a mastermind, right? And then we have like questions that we go and we do like self-introspection where you're like journaling essentially. And it's like one of the best journaling.
Who's leading it?
What's that?
You're leading this?
Yeah, leading it. Me and my business partner, we've done these for years. And
everybody's into it?
Everyone's into it. Like, I mean, that's like, dude, I know it always seems weird at first, but the second you're into it, you're like, dude, everyone else is in, like, who cares?
I know, but like when I go to an event and everybody wants to like get all in or play all out or what do they call it? Tony Robbins always has a word. Right. Play all out.
Play full out, play all out, whatever.
Yeah. As soon as I hear those words spoken at an event, I'm like, oh shit. Because they want you to rub the person in front of you.
Dude, look,
and like,
no weird rubbing.
I don't want to rub anyone in front of me.
I
don't want anybody rubbing me. Thank you. Well, what are you, weird? No, dude. It's like I did it at Tony's one time. One time he wanted me to come and kind of like watch so I could figure out how to VT things.
Right.
And so I'm there, and sure enough, he started doing that. And so I said, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And I just bailed. And then I did it again and I bailed. And then eventually Sage texts me and she goes, where are you? Tony wants you to see this part. And I'm like, well, how does he know I'm not there? That was a whole nother story. But long story short, the reason why is because every time I turned to the right and was following along and playing all out, this dude had like dandruff on his shoulders. And he said, now put the hands on the person in front of you. And like, I can see skin flakes on his shoulders. Like, I'm not grabbing that. And so I got to go to the bathroom. And then the next time
you're out.
Well, the next time it was face each other.
Kiss each other.
No, just face each other, knee to knee. And then I want one of you to scream as loud as you can in the face of the other one. And then you are going to scream louder back in their face. And you're going to keep going until you get this eureka moment. And I said, oh God.
So I will say this about Tony, like he is the master of changing state, right? Like that's the way he's able to keep people in a room for 14 hours straight without eating meals.
Cold room.
Right. Cold freaking room. Right. They're doing all these things to change state. Like I love changing state. He takes it to a level that I'm like, yeah, we don't need to. Like, I don't need you to rub another
That's
dude
what I say. That's what I say. See, I'm not rejecting the information. I just don't need to scream and yell and rub people.
But where I have found just so much power is in breath work and meditation. And it doesn't require weird touching of other people.
Yeah, I'm doing it, dude. You got me convinced. I'm going to try it tonight. And I'm sure people listening to the show, there's a lot of breathwork fans because it's like a movement. I'm starting to hear about it more and more and more. Pretty soon it'll be the thing, and then it'll be gone again.
Well, again,
like cold plunging.
Like I think it is a hack to get deeper access with God.
What about cold plunging?
Big fan. Big fan of.
You know why? Because it makes you breathe.
Right. Put you in that breath work. So I have a cold plunge right outside my kitchen, right? Like me and my wife, we go and we do that. And
how long do you stay in?
5 minutes is typically what I like doing.
So are you a biohacker?
Try to, dude, like if there's a way to trend up, I'm looking for it, right? Like I'm about it. I want to try it.
Well, have you heard of those chips called masa chips?
A little bit. Remind me.
They're just like potato chips,
like,
but they're good.
Okay.
And they're supposedly healthy for you.
Yeah. So for me, like I try not to hack food too much, right? Because there's a lot of like healthy things out there of like processed, like, hey, this is healthy for you. Yeah. So is things straight from the earth. But yeah.
You got a garden in Hawaii?
I have a garden in Washington.
So, dude, I'm trying to picture back. So you were a good, clean-cut kid, going to college, doing your thing, and you just intelligently built a solar company.
I mean, I wish it went that clean, right? Like I started knocking. So I went on a mission for my church for 2 years. Immediately after, I was going to be a doctor. And the best way to fund, like nobody was paying for my college. The best way to fund it was go and knock doors and sell products. So I went and did summer sales when I was 21. I was freshly married with my wife. We had our first kid on the way that very first summer. I made $65,000 in 3 months. I'm like, this is pretty sweet. And did that for a few summers. Decided didn't want to be a doctor. Started my first business. Scaled too fast, too quick. Made a lot of poor decisions. Started that in 2008. Went bankrupt in 2011. Lost everything.
Did you understand culture and all this other stuff?
No, absolutely not. Like I knew some things, right? I was a really good sales guy, but I didn't understand partnerships. I didn't understand like robbing the business to like fulfill my own ego versus like investing into marketing and actual development of the organization. Like there was just a lot of things I'd screwed up, and then I spent 2.5 years running after I filed bankruptcy, chasing my tail with other little businesses, trying everything. And then I went to work for somebody because I'm like, I can't figure this crap out. And I spent 4.5 years working for 3 different businesses, experienced 2 different IPOs, worked for one of the best mentors ever in Todd Peterson, watched his every move, wrote down what was working, what wasn't working. Then I started spending money on coaches and workshops and all the things. I've spent $1.3 million on my personal education since 2015. And that, being in the right room, learning from the right mentors, I had an exact game plan to launch my business out of my garage in 2017. 4.5 years later, we were doing $233 million in revenue, sold off to private equity. And we bootstrapped that sucker without any outside money.
Did you raise money though? You
Zero.
had to raise something. Well,
Nothing.
how many partners did you have?
So it was me and my main business partner, Daryl. We were the co-founders. And then we had a handful of other guys that we just incentivized along the way to have equity.
But if they were doing 233 million, that thing, how much is it worth?
Funding. So the year that private equity came in and put an LOI on the table is when we did. So we went from 89 in year 4 to 233 million year 5. They bought at the beginning of that 233 million year. And so they capitalized pretty well on it.
Well, were they instrumental?
No, they sucked.
So they bought in and you just happened to hit your stride.
I mean, we were still hitting. I mean, 89 was still a great stride.
Well, sure. But damn sight different than 280.
233.
Yeah. So, but they just got lucky. It's like, because maybe they buying in helped you get the funding,
No, there was because them buying in was just us taking cash off the table. No additional funds came to the table.
So you guys just all put that in your pocket.
Dude, I'm telling you, we freaking bootstrapped this thing. Like I had $40 million of inventory paid for cash sitting in my warehouses when these guys bought in. Like, I mean, if you
could go do your deal over, would you have got more?
Oh, so much more. So much more, man. So undervalued. We sold it for 180 million valuation. We could have easily had a 400 to 500 million valuation at the same
knowing
production.
What you know now.
Yeah.
See, that's the value of an education, though. Like, you don't learn this stuff in college.
Right.
Did you learn it in college?
No. I learned it at Harvard, but not in college. I was a part of this Harvard program that I just finished this fall. It was a 3-year for presidents and owners of businesses. Best thing I've ever spent money on.
Plus the network.
That's the reason. Like,
any of them coming to Hawaii?
Yeah. So This guy Sandeep, which I was telling you about, sold his company for billion plus software business. He'll be there. Ramona, she's from my Harvard group. She's gonna be there.
Is it all like a bunch of friends, or are they there to learn something?
No, we're there to like dive in. So we have like just different backgrounds, and not everybody.
What if I come and I contribute nothing but juvenile humor?
Also fun. So the key thing with like top level relationships is trust. Like if you can establish a trusting relationship where you can go and work together and work on each other's problems from then on out, like that's my goal every single time when I go and do something like this, is I want to leave a group of friends that know that we have each other's backs and we all have like a different outlook of how we're going to go and approach whatever we're working on.
Like what would I do with my wife?
What would you do with your wife? Leave her at home.
I don't ever do that.
That's all right. She can, 3 days, she can meet you on the way.
Oh, she could, but no, she would not be left at home.
So typically what I do, because my wife, she usually flies in on the last day and we spend a few extra days.
So it's all business folks.
Yeah.
There's no couples retreat.
We don't bring the spouses.
How come? Maybe that's part of their business problem. Because
we want to do the weird rubbing stuff.
You know what I always find?
I'm just joking.
I find that usually the business problems are actually personal problems.
100%. And
so I think maybe bringing the wives would be even better.
And there is a place for that. A lot of the stuff is working on those personal problems from our own perspective. Like, how are we reacting to these situations? And we definitely talk about relationship stuff.
Well, you'd have to if you're really getting that holistic about things.
100%.
So,
right?
So no wives are there though?
No, typically no.
Hey.
Again, usually I have my wife fly in afterwards, and then we do like our own like type of experience, and we talk about the things.
What if Sandeep called and said, "Hey, my wife's coming"?
Dude, she can come, and she's invited. If she wanted to come and attend, absolutely. The thing is a lot of times wives aren't into it.
Well, then, dude, if I were you, this is just my advice to the famous Chris Lee. I would put together the same program, but I would have the wives for sure. We want you there. And if they don't want to be there, which we already know they probably don't, unless they're involved.
Right.
But like mine's not. But mine would love it if her program was to go with your wife and go shopping and go to the spa.
Dude, I'll bring my wife just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
And then I say, "Hey, honey, come on, we're going to Hawaii." She'll be like, "Oh, awesome." But if I said, "Hey, we're going to have to go do a seminar for a weekend," she's going to go, "I don't want to do a seminar."
Right.
How do you handle that?
How do I address it?
Yeah, if a businessman can't get his wife on the same page as him, what would you say?
I mean, typically, are you saying from a support standpoint, or just not being okay with him like going to something like that?
Or just, non-supportive of the mission.
Dude, non-supportive, that is tough to deal with. And we talk about this a lot of times. And like most of it's a lack of communication and like being on the same page, like really helping your wife understand what your goals are, right? Like most couples don't properly communicate what they want out of the relationship and what their expectations are. So like clarifying those are absolutely imperative to.
You're married now?
Yeah, I've been married for it'll be 20 years this fall.
Same person.
Same woman.
Never been divorced.
No. So she was my high school sweetheart, started dating when we were 16.
Isn't that nice?
It's real nice.
Chris Lee's got like a storybook life.
Dude,
Isn't that nice, everyone?
So not storybook. I would say I have a lot of things figured out through a lot of like.
Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying though. Yeah. You're one of the lucky ones.
I would say God's taken care of me in a real good way, but I've also had like my fair share of heartache, right? Like most people don't see like the suffering that I've gone through to have the success that I have.
What kind of? Let's talk about the suffering.
Yeah. I mean, like grew up with no money. I was working from a very young age, had to provide for everything but underwear and food on the table from the age of 12 on. Right. So I had to figure out how life worked. Yeah. From a very young age.
What would your dad do?
He was a school teacher, head football and wrestling coach. By the time I was in high school, he was the athletic director. One of my one of my early like suffering times, which people that play sports could only like really come together on. It's actually the reason why I have QB in my Instagram title. Is my junior year, I like did everything the coaches asked of me and like won the starting position, and they gave it to somebody else. And it was like one of the most
someone else's kid.
What's that?
Someone else's kid?
This kid was very talented, very, very good athlete and everything else. But like I was outplaying him, there was no reason I shouldn't have been the starting quarterback in that situation. And that was like a very detrimental, like suffering, pivotal moment.
That was a traumatic moment.
Dude, it was like, I mean, I had worked my whole life. I had, from age 6 until that age, when I was 17 years old, like I was going to be the starting quarterback and win a state championship. I had goals up on my wall that I wrote when I was 6 years old: state champ, married in the temple. Those were the two things that I wanted more than anything. And like,
as a quarterback,
but like, it was always in my mind. It was always as a quarterback. I didn't say that. It said state champ, but it was always like lead the team. I'm a leader. Like I've been the backyard kid from always. I mean, I threw 7 touchdowns on varsity as a sophomore as a backup quarterback. I was good. And, this was taken from me. And like, dude, it was a pivotal moment in my life of like, am I going to allow an event to control the outcome? And so finally I was just like, F you coaches. I'm not going to allow you to determine it. Hit the weight room hard, gained a bunch of weight, was the starting right guard my senior year and middle linebacker, all-state middle linebacker, and we won the first ever state championship in our high school history.
So your vision came true.
Just
not in the same position.
Not in the same route. And I think that's been a lot of my life's reality, is like I'm very goal-driven, but usually it doesn't turn out the path that I thought it would take to get there.
Yeah, I've seen the same. Like I thought I'd be famous.
You're pretty good. I mean,
but I thought I'd be a movie star fame.
I mean, some would say, 1 million followers on Instagram is movie star fame.
Nowadays, dude, this is the movie studios.
Right.
I mean, that's why I teach people, like, you better go get a freaking following.
Right.
The followings help.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're like, smart, really. Because,
yeah.
I mean, you can have I don't know though. I mean, like, I know people with a big following and they don't know how to quote unquote monetize it. Right. Yeah. And it's like and then people want to act like monetize is a bad word.
Right.
I had one guest in here once. You may have seen him. He's the gambler dude. He always says Gen Pop. They're Gen Pop. His name's John.
Okay.
Sarasani. So he came in here, and again, I'm just giving him my observation, and he pretends he's not in the game of selling information and coaching and access and whatnot. And I said, well, dude, you're in the game. Like, don't you do a $149 event somewhere? And he goes, well, yeah, but that's just to pay for the food. And I said, well, again, if you're so rich, why don't you just pay the $149 for him and just invite him? It's $149, bro. And he was just, what I was trying to tell him is access next to him was worth something. He's successful. He exited a company. He built a nice company, but he didn't value access to him.
Right.
And I was just trying to say, dude, like, there's value there. The fact that they can get around you is value, because he only wanted to charge him a low amount and say, I'm not really doing it for the money. When in reality, why don't you just raise your fee and value you?
Dude, it's interesting how people, like, the mindset around money is so distorted on so many different levels, right? Like, this guy's thinking like, why would I charge for that? That's terrible. I'm a terrible human being, or whatever else.
He does have that.
And it's like, dude, stop it. Like, money is a derivative of value. It's not the thing, right? Like, provide value. And if you provide value, charge lots of money for it. And because it's important for the opposite side, because people pay for what they value, right? And so if they're only paying $150 to be a part of a program or whatnot, they're basically saying, this is going to be garbage, right? Like, I'm just here for the free food and I'm not going to get anything else. Versus like, dude, when I drop 6 figures to go spend a day with Andy Elliott, right? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm 100%. I don't even necessarily think the value I'd get from him, but the value I'm going to get from me from dropping that kind of money and being that level of committed, right? To be in the same room. Like that's the kind of like, there's two sides to value creation, and most people only view it from one side, and they try doing this whole like pompous, like, oh, I'm not.
Now that's a perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they choose to look at it that way.
Yeah.
See, they're choosing earthly
Choice.
energy.
Right.
To me, I'm just going to keep translating everything back to energy.
Yes, sir.
Because that's really what it is.
Access more through your breath work.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Let's go.
When I get home, I'm going to do it. And it's easily remembered. It's the box breath for like
8
to 10 of them.
Yep.
And then do the crazy breath as fast as you can.
30. And you're going to feel real lightheaded at the end.
I'm sure.
But then you're going to go real deep and hold as long as you can.
You said you do 30 of those.
30 of those.
Yeah, and then I'm going to hold my breath as long as possible. And I can hold my breath like a minute if I don't do that.
Dude, you're going to go at least 2 minutes.
If I can hold my breath for 2 straight minutes after that, that's already proof of something.
Right.
Because I couldn't before I did that.
Right.
I try to hold my breath sometimes. There's a something on social media that tests you. It tells you to breathe in and hold it.
Oh, yes.
And then you like,
do you have that?
You're weak.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
You're pretty decent. Damn, you're pretty good. And I've done that.
Nice.
After about a minute, I'm done. So if I go 2 minutes, bro, then it doubled my breathing capacity. But what can I expect to feel like?
Dude, like euphoria, clarity, like open for revelation.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning. What's the sleepy one?
So the sleeping one is, so I follow this exact pattern. It's in for 8, out for 8. And that goes for like, he's walking you through. So I don't even know what the exact number is. And then, the sleeping is you mainly hold on the bottom after you let air out, and then you hold there instead of holding it at the top.
That's hard to do.
It's hard.
Because when you blow all your air out, and you want to breathe in.
Right. And so, yeah, I have this 10-minute one. I'll send it over to you. You should check it out. I use it almost every night to fall asleep, and I've only made it through once without falling asleep.
Well, my final question is always, how can the bomb squad help Chris Lee?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, if you're looking to scale your business, like my mission is to impact and change lives, right? Like it's designing lives that impact the world is our mission for Next Level Pros. We're on a 5-year mission to add an additional 125 billion in annualized revenue additionally to businesses within our community. And so if you're looking at scaling your business, like reach out to me. Is it all right if I drop my phone number?
Please do.
All right. You can text me directly, 509-374-7554. That's 509-374-7554. You can text me directly. Any questions you have, see what it looks like to be a part of the community. Like that would be amazing. If not, give me a follow on Instagram, consume some of my content and share it with other people that might be a good fit.
Nice. Folks, did I promise you value? Look, Nick says he missed the whole thing again. Well, you better turn on your notifications, friends. Appreciate you coming in, buddy.
Yeah.
I might come out to Hawaii.
You need to.
I have to talk to the wife.
Let's go. Bring her out.
But I appreciate that I'm invited. That's almost a privilege.
It is.
Because you don't just invite anybody.
No, I don't.
You have to trust that they're not going to show up and be a distraction.
Exactly.
And I got to think about whether or not I would be, because you might do this. You might want the participation, and for some reason, I got to go back in my childhood and find out what trauma makes me not like being told what to do. You could just see. I mean, okay, guys, we're gonna do breath work, and I'll be going. Why? I don't know. I just don't like being told what to do. This fitness trainer guy was trying to say, like celebrity trainer, and he'd do it for me for free, and I'm like. He's like, dude, are you nuts? A lot of people beg me to do it, and I'll do yours for free, and you don't want to do it? And I go, no, because I don't want to change how I feel about you. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, I like you right now. I'm not gonna like you if you call me in the morning and start talking about my macros, and when I already know I decided today not to do it, that you make me feel like hell for that decision. right? That's what a good trainer does, bro.
For sure.
Holds you accountable. If there's no accountability, dude, you're done.
For sure.
You got to hold yourself accountable. Folks, hold yourself accountable. Go hit subscribe, share this out, and until next time, keep it real.